I don't know what. I have no idea what they were on. When did we start this? On the weekend? We started this on Thanksgiving, so it's Wednesday. So, yeah, there you go. Josh moved in on Thanksgiving week downstairs, and that's when we started doing this room. So, here's the mess. Here's my workbench. For those of you who recognize a Lego table, I'm gonna cut it down. This is 7.5 feet long. I'm gonna cut it to 5, which makes room all along here for shelving, not along there for shelving, blah, blah, blah. I worked it out in my Vizio, talked to my good and dear friends on our Teams channel, our Messenger channel, whatever you wanna call it. So, this wall is relatively gonna be untouched, which is gonna be the only wall that's not fixed, because it doesn't have to be, which is fine. So all the holes have to be scraped and filled. We'll get back to that in a second. This was the closet. You can see that's where the wall came out here to the floor. There's a closet door there, and that hole in the ground I'm gonna fill in. And that's the patching on the top. So, and then just 5 minutes ago, I took off the trim work on the door for a reason I'll get into in a second. I should have thought about that, doing that first, because then I would have just cut this drywall to fit that whole side instead of having 2 seams here, there. I could have brought it right to there. But, silly. I took the trim off because you can see the settling for the last 50 years. This is tight over here, and it's not tight over here. So the trim was at a nice little angle there. So I could be lazy and just put new trim on that is square to the door, or I have to get in here and cut off the nails that are holding the frame to the wall, and then lower that corner, which is not outside the realm of possibility. I mean, it's just, I got my Sawzall here, and it's just gonna be 6 nails. I just slide the whole thing down, and then square that up by putting more shims in the top. So that's the debate now, whether I'm gonna be lazy or actually do it right. Doing it right, which brings us to this mess over here. So I don't know for what unfathomable reason they ran these wires from the basement up to the ceiling and into the attic space. They could have used this wall, which is not necessarily a load bearing wall, but it's a wall that would never move. But they brought it up to the closet wall, little tiny closet wall that was, why? Anyway, I'm not gonna get into it. My displeasure for the building company that starts with the letter V knows no bounds right now. Every single time I do a reno in this place, I come across the most slipshod, dipshit crap from the original builders that built all these units. They were just a bunch of shoemakers, as my dad would call them. If I could voice my displeasure anymore, they are a bunch of they took the money and ran. That's all I can say. They put no effort into this place. It's like subpar everything. So anyway, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hide these wires, because this is a concrete wall right here. There's a cinder block wall between the units. It's a firewall, and of course, I'm not gonna drill run the wires through the concrete blocks. So I'm putting them flat, and I'm gonna put something like this on top, and then just gonna drywall that over. Because what else am I going to do? Because then it goes into the floor. So, but it's wired better now. That's copper instead of aluminum, aluminum, as some of my British friends would say. And then Sandy, because originally I was just taking out the header of the door, and so there was a 3.5-inch strip there, and drywall of the closet remained. And she says, just take that drywall down, because it's going to be easier to put in one big piece than just trying to put that little strip in. And she's 100% right, which is what I should have done over there, but I did not do that. So I still haven't moved the floor over yet to cover that void and make the, because these things of course are floating laminate. So I can just push that over. It'll be a little, because the seam, the strip is there. So this would come over to be a little gap here, and I got like 1/4 inch plywood in the garage, and that's what I will put over here to fill in that void. And staple in or glue it all down, because until we replace the floor, that's what's gonna have to happen. I'm not interested in taking up this floor. I don't have any spare pieces of this anywhere. We put in this floor a million years ago, Sandy and I, with IKEA, and we got it for $1.29 a linear foot, or a strip, I can't remember. It was on sale, so we bought tons of boxes. So we did the living room and the hallway and all the rooms up here. And again, this is me not being lazy. No seam. That took effort. No seam. So laminate going all the way through from one side of the house to the other side of the house took a lot of planning. Because you can't do that nice. Most people will just go to the doorway and they'll put a little threshold between the two floors. Again, lazy asses. You can do this. So it just continues. But it takes a lot of work. You have to plan it, because if you're starting on this wall and working your way this way, and then that bedroom you're working your way that way, you have to come to this piece here identical. So yeah, that took planning. So, and yet we did it. And so it can be done. If us amateurs can do it, perfect. When I walk into a house and I see seams between the rooms with the laminate and laminate, I'm going, you guys are just lazy. You honestly were. I'm having such a tough time with builders right now. Like professional builders. When I look at the crap out there that they put no effort into, they just want the money. And of course, what's setting me off is the back wall, retaining wall, that I can't even talk about right now because I'm just gonna lose it. Anyway, that's a story for another time. So all the tools, I can get rid of most of them now because I don't need the Destructo, the skill saws and the sawzalls and all the other stuff here. I can get rid of most of it. Right now it's gonna be patching and drywalling. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna cut off 1/4 inch strips or 1/2 inch strips here. I'm gonna put them at either side and build it out, and then put the final piece on top. And then probably Tapcom every 2 feet all the way up to hold it to the concrete wall. I don't know how I'm going to make sure that nobody else in the future decides to put a hole in the wall to hang something there, because they'll drill right into the wire. I don't know. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. That's an issue for another time. Right now, I just want to give you guys. This is coming along, so I'm not saying. I'm thinking by the weekend, we're gonna be doing most of the drywalling. What's holding me up? Oh yeah, I have to do that, which means I have to haul out the table saw to cut the strips to fit that in the place. I'm thinking two of these thick, and that's gonna be because the wire holds pretty flat to the wall. So, and it looks like I can need at least 2 of this thicknesses on either side. So that's my next big thing. I got the wood in the garage to cut that up. I use that for the headers around the windows and stuff like that. So, and my trim work, because it does nice MDF. Actually, that's HDF. But I'm gonna find my scraper, my razor scraper, and I'm gonna start smoothing all this stuff out. There's a bit of a lip here from the old wall where it went into the closet, so I'm gonna have to scrape that off. I'm gonna have to flatten these guys here, and that's right into the concrete, so I won't be able to get that out, so I'll cut these heads off here. And then I still have to take the stars down and smooth out the ceiling, which is another point of problem that's gonna be something we have to work on. So that's it, that's all. Hope everybody out there is doing well. This is where we are. We are fast paced on to getting the new living room done. I have a plan that I worked out with some of my friends, and I honestly can't wait to get it back in here. But I'm not gonna rush this. I'm gonna do it as best as I can, because this is gonna be a permanent thing for the house. This is still a bedroom, so I want to make sure it's gonna work as a bedroom. And we're gonna sell that. So I hope I don't wreck it all the dust on it. That's Josh's old dresser. Anyway, so that's where we are. Everybody out there, stay safe, take care, and I will talk to you soon.